How's it going? So there's two ways to do it. So one way is you put the parent as flex, display flex, and flex direction column, and then in the child you designate height 100. So even if you have multiple elements, as long as you put in the child height 100, it will take up the remaining space. Now, important thing is if you have minimum height on the parent, the whole thing stops working. So it has to be height. Just remember, it has to be height. Min max height will not work. Now this is my favorite, is parent flex and then child flex 1. So flex 1 is kind of like a shorthand operator for flex shrink, flex grow, and flex basic. So let's see it in action. So let me have a look. Where is it? Whoops. What am I looking for? I am looking for canvas. Yeah, so we have a blank basically thing. So let's create a div. Let's do style, height. Let's do 200. Well, let's do 500 pixels. I'm doing width 500 pixels. Now I have like special classes. It's just to give it border. So DRR is red border. Right, so we have, you see, we have a div. Okay, so now we need to add an element, which is like any element. Let's do h1, hello. And now let's do another div. Whoops. Let's do div. And then test1, style. We'll get to style in a sec, but let's do class name. Let's do blue. DBP stands for blue. You can kind of add any class you want. You can add classes whichever you want. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So now let's say you want this to be the size of the remaining space. So the way to do that is you have to give parent display flex. Now what's gonna happen is it's going to, by default, gonna go into row mode. So to overcome that, you have to flex direction, and you have to give it a column like this. Right? So now we're back to this problem. So now you just give child height 100. So height, whoopsie, and there you go, that's it. So now you see, so now whatever is remaining, it will take up the space. So even if we put so let's put hello underneath it, I think it will still work. Yeah, so you see, it will take up whatever space is in there, and hello is just well, let's change this to a p tag, so because you'll be like, why is there spacing between them? But do you see? So p is the well, let's put it as div so it doesn't have any padding then. So we'll be able to see that. You see, it now takes up the whole. Now it will fail if you do this min height like this. Now it's going to fail. You see, it gets screwed up. So it has to be height, otherwise it's not going to work. You see? Now it's working. Actually, I'll just put it in here. Let's just see. Yeah, thank you. So now there is a second way to do it. That would be remove this, and instead of height 100%, just give it flex. Well, let's remove it so you'll see that it gets messed up. Flex direction, probably you have to keep it column. Yeah, and you can just do flex 1. You see, so it's exactly the same. Now, why I like flex 1 over height 100 is that actually, yeah, I think it will still work if there's minimum height as well. Yeah, you see, it's still working. Even though you have minimum height, it still works. That's one reason why I like it. And the second reason is sometimes the parent wait, but why do I like it? What's the difference apart from min height? Let me pause for a sec. Oh yeah, remember, I like it because if the parent has padding in it, then flex 1 will factor in padding. Well, let's see. Hold on a sec. And you don't need to kind of say that it's specifically column. It's still going to work. 1 second. Yeah. So I remember why I liked it, because it's less cold. I'll show you why. So let's say we add padding. Padding 20 pixels, I think, right? Yeah, so let's add 20 pixels. Now let's remove this stuff. Right, so if as soon as you remove, yeah, so you see, you can remove this and it will still work, because it automatically takes up the whole remaining container. Flex 1, right? Even as long as there's like display, and you have your. Now, if you do it with height, it will not work. So, because you have to introduce the column, you see, so it's just a lot more code. Now, if we remove flex, I think it's gonna mess up the whole thing, right? Yeah, so you see, it's not really factoring in the padding too much. So that's the problem. So the optimal way to do it is, let's do min height. I think it's gonna mess up everything, right? Yeah, you see, it's just not working. So the easiest way to do it, I mean, okay, so let's say you are stuck in this position. You want this thing, I don't know, let's do something like that. It's a card. Let's say you have a card and you want this to fix this. So put the parent as flex and then the child as flex 1. And then that's it, done. Oh, whoops, you still need to do the direction. Yeah, so you see, now done. And we can keep going. So for example, let's say let's make this an H2 tag. Heading 2, let's do this. So now you have heading 2 and you want again to repeat the process. Right, so again we do the same, absolutely the same thing. So we display flex, just copy this thing here. And then we want to style this like this. So this is flex direction, and now we want this to be flex 1. Remember, parent is flex column, well, flex and flex direction column, and child flex 1. And that's it. And let's give some, so let's put red. Let's do red into it. So you see, let's add some padding into it so you'll be able to see. Padding 10 pixels. Let's do this. Hold on a sec. Oh, whoops. I put padding in the wrong place. Here. Yeah. So now, let's do it on 30 pixels. So we should be able to see it much better. So you see now this container is just taking up wherever the space is left. Right, and that's how you can resize. Right, okay, so let's sum it up. The best way to do it would be probably make this flex column and 1. And then this one is, so that's the best method. Why? Yeah, so parent flex column, child flex 1. That's it. That's the fastest way to do it. Alternatively, you can do it through height as well. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.